you say?
We did, that's how we
He's not-
needed it. We'll get there. We just raised 4 digits together.
That's what I thought.
That's how we do each other.
How much, what's it take to get to it? I want to read it.
All right, 7:01, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you can take attendance, please.
Larry Kendall.
Here.
Greg J.
Here.
Brandon Tankia.
Here.
Bryce Howell. Scott Stierwald.
Here.
All right, any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda? I will start off by, we are going to add invoice number, council, it should be in your packets, under 6E. This is invoice from the Macomb Group in the amount of $2,860. We are going to remove item 10B, as in boy. And we are going to add item 10C. It's going to be kind of a hodgepodge of a couple of grants and parking lot, just updates from Jason Hartman. There is nothing else, like a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of minutes from the February 13th, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And claims and transfers.
From the general fund, $334,118.93.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
From water, $46,607.20.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
From wastewater, $89,948.43.
Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
From payroll, $55,981.04.
Motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And this brings us to the added item for Macomb Group. Jason, do you care to describe what this was for?
Yeah, actually, I think this was actually approved last September.
Oh, last September. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, and it's fine, and I just started thinking about that. But what this was master meter at the water plant, and I'm pretty certain it was already approved, but if you want to approve it again, you can. But I'm pretty certain that.
I think we did approve it.
Yeah, because it was actually ordered September the 14th, so that made me start thinking, I think we approved this.
So contingent that it already hasn't been approved, then we're going to make the motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve it if it has not been.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And Mr. Holt?
I got you all your packets. As you can see, our numbers are quite high. We're fast approaching 1,000 calls for 2 months, which is a pace we haven't been on before. Got a lot of things in the works, but not much to discuss yet this evening, maybe next month. Unless you have any questions, I don't have anything further.
Council? Okay. Thank you. Jason?
Really quick, Beagle Club Road, if you've not noticed, they started yesterday again on Beagle Club Road. They were pouring curb this morning. on the south side of Beagle Club, so hopefully we're gonna be wrapping it up fairly soon.
Can you pull the mic down, please?
Sure. Does that help at all?
Get a little closer.
Can you hear me?
Not if you whisper.
So Beagle Club, like I say, will be wrapped up fairly quickly. The next item is I-70 main extension. There are two, if you recall, there are two parts to the main extension. The NDOT is doing the one section that runs north of 70 along the west side of 231. And I'm sure if you've been north of 70, you've seen that construction has started. So part of that NDOT project is our main extension. The second part of the main extension is what we have to do. I do have the easements, I do have the letter prepared, so that, hopefully I'll be doing that tomorrow, getting the letters out to the potential folks that we need to get easement from. I think there are 7 of them between the corner where Edge Materials is, all the way up to like PEI north of 70, there on the west side of 70, sorry, 231. So we'll be working on that. Hopefully we'll get easement pretty soon. Hopefully that's not gonna be too difficult. But I did get all that information that I need. So. The next thing is the Lieber wastewater project. If you've been in Stardust, you've probably seen a lot of construction at Stardust. It's not been too bad so far. If I had to estimate, I'm saying there's a force main that's being pushed bored into the ground right now. I'm gonna guess we're 30 to 40% complete with getting that into the ground. We have been through 2 water service lines, which I don't think is really that bad. With all the utilities out there, to only hit 2 water lines, it's not too bad. So those have been repaired, except maybe there's something that's going on tonight that was brought to my attention just before the meeting. So we're gonna investigate that too. I don't know if we may have another one that's been hit or something, but it's not uncommon when you're boring that you're gonna get into some utilities. Thankfully, willingly, we've gotten into 2 so far. And I expect it to happen again, but that's part of doing underground work. They've also been doing some preliminary lining on some other locations in town. Doe Creek, they've been doing work down by the park, then also behind the feed center. So at the feed center, we did find a manhole that we did not know where it was. It had been buried 5 foot deep when they built the parking lot there. So we did find that today. We're gonna raise that manhole up, so we're gonna have access to that section of sewer again. So they're supposed to be starting on Lieber very, very soon. The parts that they're doing inside the park, that's actually DNR's portion of this project, but it's still under this town's contract to do the work. So that's gonna be starting real soon as well. So we're still gonna have a lot of construction. Bear with us at Stardust. That's probably where it's gonna be most difficult to deal with the public and transportation. We have had communication with the school, police department, fire department. Everyone knows this construction's happening. We just encourage anybody that's driving through there to slow down. We have had some concerns with speed going through there and people working alongside the road. So far, everything's been going pretty well out there. The next item is the stormwater project. I did include a packet here with regards to the stormwater improvements. We did receive bids the week before last, and all of the bids came in substantially over our engineer's estimate. You'll see all of this information in the packet that I gave you. I just got this afternoon. I should say we knew the bids, but I just got this letter from HWC this afternoon, so I've included that. When we were overbid, we did have a meeting with HWC. Brandon, Kelly, Richard, they were all involved in the meeting and had conversations with Brad about how to get the project moving forward again, and whether we were going to have to rebid the project, reduce the scope of the project, or proceed with the contract as it is and just come up with additional funds. Obviously, the additional funds really is an option. So we kind of went back through the project, and we were able to, or at least, we all came to agreement, there were a couple of areas of that project that we scaled back. Two of those areas was Grant Street and Water Street, West Water Street. South Grant and West Water. We were gonna keep all the Stardust stormwater project in there, the fire department stormwater project, the downtown business district behind the business district, the northeast quadrant is still in there. South Doe Creek is still in the project. And we kind of moved around a little bit and included Stardust Road, which we all had concerns about in the last couple of meetings. So that is going to be included if you're agreeable to rebid it with those provisions. So you'll see what he's recommending in this letter, and that's to rebid this project. The cost to rebid it, I actually got him down to a number today. He said it would be about $2,000 to rebid the project. So we're looking at advertising, we're looking at collecting the bids. There may be more contractors involved this next time, there may be less. I just don't know. But we would be rebidding it with the scope changed. And it's reducing Grant Street and Water Street. That's out of that big project that we all discussed earlier. That's what would be removed, and we think that it'll get us down to the range where we can use our grant and what we have in our stormwater fund balance right now. And I don't know if you want to look through this, if you want to make a decision and proceed with it, how quickly you want to do it. I spoke with Larry, he's on the stormwater board, I spoke with him earlier about this. The whole stormwater board has not reviewed it yet.
How much total money do we have?
Do you know what the total is in our fund? The total project is roughly $750,000 is what we have budgeted for.
Currently, right now, I think we're just under 300,000, but we've already been paying for a lot of the stuff that's on the way.
So our total was $700,000, our lowest bid was $1 million.
Yes, well, just today, and I will say, our engineer met with, or had a conversation with the lowest bidder. That the only person he's allowed to communicate with is the lowest bidder, the lowest total bidder, because there were different divisions. But the lowest total bidder. Taking out a couple of those divisions that we were talking about, Water Street, or West, I'd call it Grant Street, it's really West Street, I guess is what they're calling it here. Taking those out still takes us to $30,000 over the $750 that we have allotted. So we're $30,000 off from where we need to be. And that's taking out the projects that we're taking out, or proposing to take out. We have had interest from other bidders since this time. We could call additional bidders and try to get more people interested in bidding the project. In this letter, he's recommending that we do rebid. I don't disagree with that. I think a $2,000 investment in the rebid process potentially can save us substantially more.
Larry, do you feel as though you should take this to the board? Or should we as a council move forward for the rebidding process? What's your thoughts?
I think we should move forward tonight.
Okay, for the rebidding.
Right, correct.
I think so too, just to
So
be
we,
quicker and not delay it 2 months. Just to be safe.
okay.
Make a motion to go ahead and pay the 2,000 and do a rebid.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
And you were okay with the changes?
Yes, to include the changes.
Next item is 54 North Lafayette Street. It is done. We do own 54 North Lafayette Street. The one thing I was going to bring up is there are 2 trees on North Lafayette Street property that it's my opinion, need to be removed. I do have a couple quotes on removal of the trees, but they're just not apples to apples. One includes stump removal and one doesn't. My recommendation, provided the council wants to remove these trees, I would recommend that I go back to these couple folks that gave me quotes and ask the tree removal and the stump removal at the same time. And you may not be, I've not even spoken with Kelly about this tree removal either, so I don't know where we're gonna take the monies from, but
So
I'm just throwing this in here at the last minute, just.
I think these just landed on Jason's desk here relatively quickly. Let's table this until next meeting. Council, if you want to stop by our new lot in town, to look at the trees and then see if we can get quotes to compare apples to apples.
Well, I would say let's go ahead and move with the quotes, that way we'll have them for next meeting and we can vote on it.
That's what I'm asking Jason, to make sure that our quotes are apples to apples.
Gotcha.
I've just got one that's not got stump removal, the other one does, so
Yeah.
this will make it even.
And we might decide that the trees don't need to come out.
Right.
I don't know, I haven't personally looked at the lot.
One of them is a liability.
Okay,
Very
good. See, I don't know. So we'll push this into the next meeting.
And we may only need to take one tree, so it's up to you guys. We do intend to get the rest of that lot cleared up, there's some brush and some stuff there. I've not pushed on that because it wasn't our property, but now that it is our property, we'll get it done. Then you guys can decide what you're gonna do with it or something.
Okay. Anything else right now?
I did want to say, I did have it, I kind of went over this with you, but HWC did give you an update on all the different projects, and so we sent that to you this afternoon as well, so. But no, it's all yours.
Thank you. Kelly?
You have all the budget appropriation reports, your water sewer budget and revenue all in your packets, and everything looks normal so far, so doing pretty good this year.
Thank you. All right, this brings us to resolution 2024-2. This is the liability mutual agreement. There are no questions for that signing authority. Looking for a motion on that one. Does anybody want to make a motion? We're looking.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, old business. North Main Street, tree stumps and sidewalks.
You had asked me to get quotes on tree stump removal for the 7 stumps between the sidewalk and the curb along 231 Main Street. I did get 2 quotes for that. The lowest of the 2 was $1,100. And then you asked me to get a quote to replace the concrete sidewalk panels, which is about 105 feet. And I did get a quote for that, to do the concrete work on that, and I had a low bid of $4,440. So we did the total $5,540. It is 2 different contractors.
So stump removal was 1,100
Yes.
from the lowest bid. And then the lowest bid on the concrete,
4,440.
that's for replacing it.
Yes.
And that's also a liability. As far as the concrete sidewalks are concerned.
Existing, yes, I would think so. I mean,
I just walked it on Sunday and it's not getting any better.
That was for 105 feet?
Plus or minus a little.
Okay, is that just for the labor on the concrete?
Yeah, that includes everything.
That's everything.
And we have funds.
Come out of the general fund, we didn't budget anything per se, but, we're eating up a little cushion, but I think they're fine.
Council, would somebody like to make a motion? We can either do it in two parts, or we can group it together as one for the stump removal and/or the concrete replacement.
I make a motion, we just go ahead and do it.
A low bidder for each.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit for each and get it done, because it is a liability and it's not getting any better.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I will abstain.
Okay. Thank you, and annexation.
Oh, I guess I can do that too. I have had communication with a few of the property owners, all but one. Or at least I've reached out to them, left voice messages that if they are interested in annexation, to please contact me. They've not contacted me back, so that's my assumption is they're not interested in annexation. But I've got two that I think are going to go voluntarily with the property on Beagle Club Road. So it'll be a total of 3 parcels that would be voluntary. So I'll get that moving here pretty quickly to get all of that taken care of. And if somebody else does call me back in the meantime, we'll probably include that as well. But
Who did you call?
Whitaker's Funeral Home, there are 3 parcels there. The school corporation has a section just next to the bus facility, transportation department. And then the Beagle Club Road property would be the 3 parcels.
Who'd you talk to on Church of Christ?
That's one I'm not having.
Did you contact Rex Parker? He would probably be a good contact.
But I did leave voicemail with
The church.
Nick, here on South Lafayette Street. And the folks down on 42. I was told they were interested, but I emailed and called them. I'm not reading.
You might contact one of Ward's, I think.
I emailed them at that bank.
Okay.
Email address.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'd like to
my
see-
assumption is that if they're not responding, then they didn't really weren't too interested, I'm guessing.
No.
But I don't mind reaching out again. I'd like to get as many of these fixed as we can, but that's all I have with annexation.
Thank you. This brings us to the BZA appointments. As everyone's aware, we joined the County Area Plan Commission. We, as a council, appointed and agreed to have James McKee represent the town of Cloverdale to that committee or commission. In doing so, it changes the landscape of our BZA. In accordance with state law, we need to appoint him to one of 2 open positions to the new BZA. So I'm asking council if somebody can make a recommendation.
Make a motion that we appoint James.
Perfect. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. In the same sentence, there is 1 position in the BZA open that is president appoints. We had 1 person reach out. If anybody else is interested in joining that committee, please reach out to Kelly or myself. We'll be happy to talk to you. This brings us to item 10C, and I'm going to add 1 more on there because I think it's important to keep the community and public updated with everything, obviously, that the town has going on, good, bad, and different. So Jason, if you could talk about the 2 grants that we were just notified this week that the town has received. If we could talk about the basketball court as well, give us an update on that. And the last item, parking lot update for town hall.
Okay, the Cloverdale Main Street, which is not part of the town.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, but the Cloverdale Main Street did receive a $17,000 grant to install new park benches and trash cans in the downtown area, which the town does collect the trash. That's, my guys have been doing that for some time. But it's to beautify the downtown, so it was awfully nice of Main Street to do that and get awarded. It was also for the decorative flags that go out over the streets, so.
So,
They did get awarded that.
I want to elaborate a little bit. Those of you who don't know who or what Cloverdale Main Street is, it's a group of volunteers, men, women, high school students that try to do well for the town by putting on events, holding fundraisers, etc. They do quite a bit that goes unnoticed. And here's a prime example where they were just awarded a $17,000 grant, again, to help beautify, spruce up simple things as park benches throughout Main Street and in town. So if you ever see these people, please tell them thank you for the work they do, because a lot of it truly does go unnoticed.
And that was a Putnam County Foundation grant is where that came from. The next thing, if you recall, we applied and received a grant about a year ago to do a street sign inventory. And that's regulatory signs, not the street signs itself, but stop signs, speed limit signs, that type of regulatory sign. We were just awarded a grant to purchase those and to have those installed. They call it a construction grant, but it's to purchase and install those. And it was a $550,000 grant to do that. That is not going to occur till 2025, just by the way NDOT does their projects, but it is on the horizon. So I know we've got a lot of signs here in town, regulatory and our street signs, that are in desperate need of being replaced. But I'm going to try to push off at least the regulatory signs as well as we can, so that we can get it all done when we are funded in that grant project. So we'll still deal with it if we have to. Obviously, if a street sign is down, we're going to put up a new street, a stop sign is down, we're going to put up a new stop sign. But all of those will be replaced with signs that conform to federal guidelines with regards to reflectivity. They're supposed to have breakaway posts for safety, so all of that will be updated. So it's exciting that we got awarded that money for that. There was one more thing you asked me. Parking lot. We did, after 3-4 meetings probably with the engineer that you guys hired to do that, we did get a design after we went back and forth on design many times. And we do have a final design, I think, that we want to go with. The next step is to, if we're going to do this project, is probably in numbers what it's actually going to cost. We've got an engineer's estimate that came along with it, which was on the higher side, but I think we can get some other numbers that may be a little more realistic to our, especially for our budget. So, I don't know, did we want to distribute that ever? I don't know if we've done that yet or not. So I think it's just kind of a design that you've kind of got in mind, and at some point we'll get that to you and then let you take a look at it. I think we're pretty close to having that finished up for you. So,
And the last item would be the basketball court update.
basketball court, as you know, we did get funding for a basketball court. I do actually have a prepared to send out to some bidders, and hopefully we'll get that back here in the next week or so to do the concrete and do basketball goals at the park. The plan is at the park to move the court back to the west just a little bit. If you go out there and take a look at it, where it sits now, it sits right on the edge where it comes back down to the walk path, and there's a, I don't know, probably an 18-inch drop off. So the plan is to actually move it back to the west a little bit, so we don't have that safety issue there. But the park board's aware of this process, and we're going to have a nice basketball court there this spring. Again, that was Putnam County Foundation as well, so
It's awesome.
that was $20,000. So Putnam County Foundation has been good to us here in the last, to the town of Cloverdale, in the last two grant cycles.
Can I make a request?
Are you talking about park board?
The town did,
Oh, the park board? Okay.
for this one. For the
Basketball
court,
court.
yeah, court, okay.
All right, thank you for that. Council, you have anything? Anything from the public? Yes, sir?
Yes, in lieu of a building inspector in the town of Cloverdale, who do we appeal to and the procedure to use to, when there are zoning violations happening?
Jason?
Lisa Zeiner.
There you
Do we
go.
go to the county?
Yeah.
So we go to the county planning commission with that, for those violations. Okay?
Anything else?
No, but I'm disappointed in that. I don't know if anything's ever gonna get done with that. But I'll
Sorry?
let you know.
Well, I mean, it's our job to make sure that we keep moving forward, right? And if you have any issues, I ask that you go to Jason, right? If you're not getting any communication from the county aspect or county level, please get with Jason.
Then bring it back.
Thanks.
I will do that.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, this meeting is adjourned.
Good job.
Council, you could just hang out a couple minutes so we can